Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share the secrets of the pet grooming industry with you so that you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. That's what we do right here on Go Groomer. And one of my goals on this YouTube channel is to bring a new voice to the pet grooming industry. And that is one that includes pet owners as valuable consumers and not just pet groomers. So with so many people seeking valuable knowledge in order to groom their dogs at home, having a place to learn proper dog grooming techniques and receive professional advice on tools, products, and where to get them is essential. And that is why I created this YouTube channel for you guys and your pets. So welcome to Go Groomer right here on YouTube. It's a beautiful Monday. It's actually not, it's raining here, but to me, it's beautiful because look at you. You guys are beautiful and you're all here, and it is such a wonderful time to be in front of you and to get together every Monday, every other Monday, and share these secrets that will benefit our pets and the pets you groom. So, guys, we got a good topic tonight. We just got a good live stream. Let me just lay that out there for you, okay? The topic tonight is my dog grooming fail-proof blueprint. I told you I was going to share my fail-proof blueprint to grooming dogs with you 2 weeks ago when we got together live from the grooming table. I have put something really amazing together for you guys. It is a paid product, but it's affordable. It's $4.99. But before we dive into all that, I have a few announcements to make, and then we're going to get right back to topic. Don't forget that I will also be answering your personal dog grooming questions that you submitted tonight as well. So stay put for that. And channel members, calling all hounds. I see you hounds in the chat. The hounds are, you can tell if a channel member is a channel member, guys, by the icon beside their name. So if you're a channel member, you have a special icon because you're very special. You're all very special. But that's the difference. If you guys ever wonder what those little badges are besides certain people's names, it is the badge that they are a channel member. So hounds, you are thoroughly impressing me. Most of you aced your quiz this week from our private Sheer Joy with Amy Lee learning session. Just last Thursday we got together. It was a fantastic one. And if you're a member and you couldn't join, obviously no worries. You know that it's in a playlist for members. If you're a member, you can view the playlist. It's on my YouTube channel. It's there for you, and it's wonderful. There were handouts this week for you to download. Very, very informative handouts that will be very helpful to you to add to your notebook. So I can't wait to see you all again during our next session, which is session number 3, Sheer Joy with Amy Lee, and that's scheduled for August 11th at 3:30, and it will be posted. It is already posted on the community tab, but it will be posted again if you haven't seen that. So, and don't forget, if you're unable to join us live as a member when we get together and do our private sessions, it will be recorded for you to view and learn at your convenience and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. If you need to or want to, it's there for you. And if you're not a channel member, guys, and you would like to take your dog grooming skills to the next level, there's a link in the description below that you can join the hounds as a channel member, and we'd love to have you. There's 200 of you. I can't believe it. 200 people are learning all kinds of cool stuff about dog grooming. Okay, and before we say our goodbyes tonight, I will announce the topic of our next live from the grooming table, which is scheduled for Monday, August 1st at 5:30. And that's Eastern Standard Time, so it's in 2 weeks. Monday in 2 weeks. So, all right, back to the topic tonight. Man, I talk a lot. Okay, so you must be here tonight because you really want to learn my fail-proof dog grooming guide to dog grooming. Well, it's fantastic and it's very simplified, which is exactly the way it needs to be. That's the way I learned best. Just give it to me straight, no fluff, you know, so that I can follow it. So this is my fail-proof dog grooming guide. It's designed to walk you through the steps of a groom as if you were having your own private lesson with me. That's kind of what I had in mind when I created it. So I really love this. I really love this blueprint. This unique, comprehensive 5-page printable document will lead you to a beautiful, balanced pet room, just like the dogs that I groom professionally. Those are the secrets that I share in that blueprint. Showcasing how to perform the clipper work, onto scissoring the head, the legs, the feet, giving the dogs that you groom a well-balanced, symmetric trim. That's what this blueprint is there to provide for you. So you can get your printable blueprint today by clicking the link in the description below. It is on my Learning Center site, which is hosted by Podia. It's a different platform for hosting files and courses and digital products, or you name it. The cost of this printable document download is $4.99. So keep that in mind if you're interested in having it. So how about this, guys? How about we take a peek at the blueprint right now on screen? You don't want to see it, do you? Do you want to see it? I know you do. I'm excited to show you. Okay, we're going to start with the first page. I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to just kind of briefly go over what's on the first page. So, hey, give me a thumbs up if you want to see this. Come on, smash the like button. All right, whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. Here it is. This is the page 1 of my blueprint. So in page 1 of my blueprint, we're going to focus on the clipper work on the body and the head. So you'll notice that this is why it's so easy to follow and comprehensive. You'll notice that there's steps that are numbered, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the little green box below is 1, 2, 3, 4. So illustration number 1 at the top left is going to go along with number 1, the description of what that means. Number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on. So the first page of this is strictly to show you what we are doing when we do clipper work. We're starting at the base of the skull, back at the occiput. We're coming down, and this is a pet trim. We're coming down the body and the legs. We can do that with different size guard combs if we want to on the legs versus what we use on the body, on the neck. You can get as creative as you want, but this is just simplifying it down to what you see in purple is the clipper work. What you see in green is the clipper work and or scissor work for the head, which you can definitely set the length of your head trims with your guard combs, as I've shown you in 100 videos on my channel. Okay, if you haven't seen them, go watch them and learn. So that's page 1, guys. What's page 2? Well, obviously, how are we going to tie these legs together in with the body trimming that we just did? Well, that's what page 2 is. Again, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, follows along with 1, 2, 3, 4 description in the little green box underneath the illustrations. And there's a few notes on here to remind you of some important things that obviously following this blueprint will ensure that all 4 legs are the same. So one doesn't look this big and one looks this big. We want symmetry. That's called symmetry and balancing out our trimming. That's what we want. We want our dogs to walk out of our salon or out of our kitchen, wherever we're grooming them, and have them look like they have a well-balanced trim. So that's what this blueprint is there to help guide you. The nice thing about it is you can simply put it in a small little binder, a little 3-ring binder, inserted in plastic sleeves. So if you take it to work with you, it can get wet. It's okay. It's protected, and you can simply just leaf through it and take a glance. It's so easy to follow from a distance. It's not over detailed that you're going to have to stop what you're doing and just sit here and really read. And, you know, the illustrations make it easy to understand too. So that's how I suggest you guys utilize this blueprint, is to put it in a small 3-ring binder, slipped in 3-ring binder plastic sleeves, so it's protected. Obviously, if you purchase it, you can print it out as many times as you want. So if you do damage it or get it wet or end up having to clean up dog pee with it, off the table, you can print another one. So once you purchase it, it's yours, and you can go back and print another one if you need to. It is a PDF, so it's printable on any desktop computer. You can actually print a PDF if you download it on your smartphone. You can print a PDF from your smartphone to your printer as long as it's a Wi-Fi type connected printer. So that's the second page. There are 5. Here's page 3. Page 3, now we're talking about scissoring those feet in with those legs. This is a difficult challenge for a lot of people, right? So I've tried to simplify this for you as best I can. So again, illustration number 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the blueprint for rounding a foot. And notice, I have a note on here, you perform these steps without picking up the foot. It's the safest way to do it. So illustration number 1 goes along with the detailed description number 1 in the green box. Number 2 goes along with the DC. On and on and on, okay? Just like the entire, every page of this blueprint is laid out to have an image and have a description that is correlated with it by number. So it's easy to follow. And that's what it needs to be. So that is page number 3. Page number 4, we get a little fun now. We're getting fun now. Now we're going to scissor in the head. So that is all head assembly from the jaw up. Typically on our pet trims is head assembly. So once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes along with 1, 2, 3, 4 in the green box to tell you what is going on in those pictures and how to do it. So it's very easy to follow. Several of you have purchased it already. I just launched it this afternoon, I think around 2 o'clock. And I want to give a big salute to Ashley Hoots. Ashley Hoots, I not only love you, and I'm so proud of you as the fact that you're a fantastic pet groomer, and she is a pet groomer, but you were the first one to purchase my blueprint. Oh my, I almost cried. I saw it come up over the screen. Ashley Hoots has purchased your blueprint. I was like, Ashley, she was the first one. I'm so proud. Okay, well, it just moved me. I had to share that. Okay, everything you guys do trust me, is appreciated on my end. It really is. So that is our number 4. We have one more page, and the 5th page is a continuation of the head, because I actually needed 6 illustrations to really kind of explain what we were doing here in our head trim. And there again, the whole PDF follows the same format, whether we're doing clipper work, then we move on to scissor work on the legs. It's all formatted the same. Then we move on to scissor work on the feet. Same format as the first 2 pages. And moving on to scissor work on the head. And a lot of this can be done with clippers too, which is our guard combs. We would typically set the length on the muzzle, the cheeks, the top of the head. It's explained here in this blueprint as scissoring, but you could do a lot of that with your guard combs to make sure you're setting an even length. And us pet groomers do that all the time. It's a healthy, happy shortcut as a pet groomer, and it leaves everything balanced. And that's what we want in our trim work. So what do you think? Cozy Man says, I need a good nail trimmer for my big dogs. My favorite nail trimmer that I use across the board, I don't care what size the dog is the Miller's Forge pliers style nail trimmer. It's linked in pretty much any video on my channel where I talk about trimming nails, and there are many. And even in my full grooms that I have on the channel, if I'm trimming nails, I tell you, I'm using the Miller Forge. I've been using it. It's in all my videos. If I'm grooming, you see me using it. I've always used it. I've had other ones. I do. I have probably 10 other ones. I'll have to show you guys sometime. I don't know why I even have them, but I've bought them over the years, or they've come to me as a free gift from purchasing so much product or whatever, and they just never impressed me. The only one that did was the Miller's Forge pliers style. It's very quiet. It's very precise. It's sharp. It trims the nail. It doesn't make a pop sound. Dogs don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like to trim a dog's nail and hear bang, bang, bang. I don't even like that sound, let alone the dogs who have better hearing than I do. So that's the one that I like. I am so happy to give you guys this blueprint. I printed it out. My printer's in black and white right now. I don't have no color ink. But I printed it out. This is fantastic. It is very helpful. And it is something wonderful to add to your arsenal of notebooks and notes about dog grooming if you need, if you're still, struggling a little with your speed or what steps or how do I, following the same steps to every groom definitely keeps your groom moving forward nicely, and you will get it done in a timely fashion because you're always doing the same steps. Eventually, you don't even have to think about those steps. And I do have a free download on my Learning Center that is my 11 steps to grooming any dog. And it's very helpful to use as a reference. So go and download that one too, guys. That one's free. And I put that together a year or so ago, and many of you have ordered it for free on the Podia site and have it and printed it out and love it. And it's very helpful. And it was, again, created for you to help you. Look at all these people joining our hounds. Oh, man, I can almost hear the hounds barking now. Wow, who do we have here? Cynthini, welcome to the hounds. We have Joey, we have Christina. All of you just joined the hounds. That is absolutely fantastic. I hear those hounds barking. I hear you. You guys are going to love it. We are sharing some great stuff in our hound private Zoom sessions. And they are Zoom sessions, which I really love because it's a little different than what we do here on YouTube. And I like that. I really like that it's a little different. It's a little more quaint and personal. And obviously it's recorded. So if you're not able to attend, because obviously you have a million things going on in your life anyway, you can always rewatch it as a member only. Only members can watch it. And it's in playlist. You can watch lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, whichever you want. I also have many other videos that are on my channel that are only for members. So nobody else can view them. So if you're a member, and now we have a couple new members, make sure you guys know that there are other videos that are not just in my Sheer Joy with Amy Lee playlist. There's many other videos for you as a member on my channel. Now, some of it is my husband and I grooming our dogs together, live, stuff like that. We did some questions and answers. We do all kinds of stuff as members. So it's very fun. Thank you guys for being part of it. It's pretty awesome. I can't believe what we've created. I really can't believe what we've created. I can't. Just today, I went to grab a link from my sapphire shears made by Kenchi. And so I go to the website. I needed the link. Somebody wanted the link to my shear. I was like, okay, let me go to the website. Here it is. And I pull it up, and I pull up Kenchi's website, and it says shears. Then it says signature shears. And it says signature shears, Amy Lee. And I was just, I laughed. I was like, no freaking way. It just blows my mind that Kenchi created a shear for us. Just blows my mind. And it's a wonderful shear set. I love it. I use them every day. And they're affordable and durable. But sometimes I have to pinch myself, guys, what we've created and the differences that we're making. Because we are such a good group of people doing great things in the pet grooming industry. So, how about one more salute for all of us for being absolutely freaking awesome. Every single one of you. Thank you. Thank you for what we've done. We're not done. We're not done. Okay, I'm getting a little rowdy. Oh, we got Melissa's been a hound for 8 months. Oh, look at that. This is great. Adding value. We're adding value and learning and sharing valuable information that people pay for. That I paid for. I paid for it. But I'm giving it back to you guys. And I'm sharing a lot of my own information that I've learned over the years and things that I've come up with as my own procedures that maybe I tweaked a little and said, this is what works. This is what I'm going to do. But hey, I'm sharing all that with you. You're welcome, Melissa. Thanks for all the great info. It's my pleasure. I can't say it enough. It's my pleasure. So again, guys, having a blueprint to follow, I'm so glad that I finally was able to put all these pieces that were floating around in my head for a long time and put it together for you guys in a condensed format that will be easy to follow. I've been wanting to do this blueprint for quite some time, but it was overwhelming to me. I would be like, wait, how am I going to do that? I don't want to confuse them. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that without confusing them? But I find that I work best if I put myself in the shoes of somebody who's just learning to groom, and I've been that person in the past, so I have to reflect. And when I put myself back in that mind frame, then it's easier for me to put my thoughts together to present to you guys, because sometimes I forget the things that I struggled with, so I have to think about them. And believe me, there's been many things that I struggled with. There's things that I still struggle with today with pet grooming and how to perfect, and I'm still working on it. I will always be working on trying to be a better groomer, always. So, and you should never stop trying to be a better groomer. No, as long as you're picking up tools and working with a dog, you always have something more to learn, something better from somebody else or from your own experience. So this blueprint is really special to me, very special, and priced very affordably. I priced some other things that are kind of comparable out there in the industry, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna pretty much give it away for $5. I deserve to get paid for it. It was hard work. But I'm not charging a lot for it. So I want you guys to have it. It's affordable. That's the idea. So I do have some questions that were submitted in our last live stream. And remember, guys, in the description of every live stream, live from the grooming table, you will find a link there to submit your questions to the Google form so that I can answer it in the next live stream. Okay? So I have a couple questions that were submitted, and I would definitely like to jump on over to that. Okay, and the first one, ooh, another one just snuck in there. That wasn't there a minute ago. All right, let me get back here. Good. Hey, send those questions in. It's okay. The first one comes from Gina, and Gina says, what clippers would you recommend for a Yorkie that does a good job but isn't so loud she's scared to death? Okay, I'm sure tiny dogs can be very frightened with big tools. Tiny dogs can be very frightened no matter what, but what clipper would I recommend for a Yorkie who may be minding the vibration or the sound? I would definitely choose there are some great 5-in-1 clippers out on the market. There is the Kenchi Flash 5. That is a fantastic clipper. You have to buy the separate guard combs. They do sell them as a bundle. It's a little more expensive, so you can buy it all in one. I think you save a little money if you bundle it. But the Kenchi 5-in-1 clipper has extraordinary battery life. It's very quiet. It has 5-speed settings. So if you're trimming something around your dog's eye or something and they're minding it, you can take it down to the first speed setting. Maybe it would be a little more tolerable to the dog. Or I find I use the Kenchi Flash 5 often on just level 3, the third setting. That seems to be extremely tolerable to dogs, whether it's the vibration or the sound or both. So that's one of my top recommendations. It's quiet, low vibration. Also, the Kenchi Flash, which was the original 5-in-1 clipper that Kenchi made, that now has an option to purchase a 30 blade. It doesn't have a 30 blade, standard 30 blade with it, but now you would have to purchase the 30 blade, and you can then use their metal guard combs that go with the 5-in-1 clippers. Also, the ones that Wall makes for their Bravera, that's the same. It will work. It's universal. Will work on the Kenchi clippers. The Wall Bravera, speaking of which, is a 5-in-1 clipper that works the same as the Kenchi Flash 5. So if you want a super chat in here, if you want to go for the Wall Bravara, it's not my favorite. I have had it in the past. The battery life is not great. In fact, the battery ends up just completely dying after about a year and a half. And I don't find that with the Kenchi, either the Kenchi Flash or Flash 5 clippers. Plus, the blade on the Kenchi Flash 5 and the Kenchi Flash is a better blade. That's why I'm telling you that. I talk about that one a lot because it's better. And who do we have here? It's, I can't say that name. I think it's Chelsea. Is that your name? But Chelsea, I want to say you are so getting saluted. Thank you for the super chat. New groomer here. She says, love your channel. So helpful. You are so welcome. Thank you for coming in here and grabbing this information so you can apply it to your pet trims. Good luck to you, my friend. Brand new pet groomer. You got a whole career ahead of you. You're going to love it. Congratulations. And thank you for the super chat. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm so happy to hear that we have new groomers. I get a lot of emails. I'm new to grooming. I'm new to grooming. Makes me so happy. There's a shortage of good groomers. There really is. There's a shortage of groomers, period. But good groomers, there's a real shortage of. So I'm happy to see when people get into the field, get into the industry. There's so many dogs that need us pet groomers and not enough pet groomers. So good for you. Very happy. Let me take a look here. Oh, I got another question. Did I skip something in my notes? Let's see here. No, we're good. Okay, we're good. I'm going to move on to the next question that was submitted and using the submit link in our description. The next one comes from Carolyn Biles, and she says, I want to start grooming my dogs the right way. Awesome. I love the way you said that. I'm new to your channel and I have learned a lot in the past few days. Also a little overwhelmed. Well, that's normal, Carolyn, to be overwhelmed when it comes to pet grooming. Because we also want to make sure we do a safe job. So we'll have that little bit of nervousness, especially when we're learning. You know, I want to do this safely for the dog. So that's okay that you're a little overwhelmed. I've already made a lot of mistakes with grooming them. I used my uncle's beard trimmer to trim the face and the butt, not cleaning the coat and preparing the coat properly. You know what I like about what I'm hearing here, Carolyn? As though you made mistakes, as you acknowledge it and you learned from it. So you learned, shoot, this was a mistake. I did this because I didn't know better. But you do now, so it's okay. So off with the guilt, okay? Let it go. So then she says, my uncle and I also have tried shaving them down with a brand of dog clippers from Walmart, supposedly made for dogs, but it didn't work at all. Exactly. I made a video about the stuff that's on the market in the big box stores. Most of it shouldn't even be on the shelves. It shouldn't even be marketed as something that you could use. Because for one, they're obnoxiously loud. They're cheap. They don't last. They don't do a good job at all. Sometimes they can't do the job at all. So yeah, I agree with that. Said she bought it from Walmart, supposedly made for dogs, but it didn't work at all, and it was a bad experience for both the dogs and the humans. Exactly. Good point. It was a bad experience for the dogs too. I know. And then she says, when I've sent my Cocker and my Terrier to the groomer, they usually come back shaved down. Well, they're probably matted or the coat was overgrown to the 10th power. And sometimes a pet groomer just can't take half a day to get your dog's coat in the proper shape so they can give it the clip that you want. If you haven't been in or haven't been groomed, they're way overgrown in their coat. Sometimes the pet groomer says, I just got to take it short instead of, you know, leave a half of an inch. I can't do it because they got to get the coat prepped out. So I understand that. And I hear a lot of people say often, my groomer just shaved my dog. And I'm like, when was the last time your dog was at the groomer before your groomer shaved the dog? Oh, it was about 6 months. What kind of dog is it? It's a Cocker Spaniel. Cocker Spaniels need groomed about every 4 to 6 weeks at least. So that tells the story right there. All right, back to it. I reel myself in. All right, she says, if I could keep up with their coats, they wouldn't have to be shaved short. So she's acknowledging, she knows. I love this. How do I get my dogs used to being brushed? That's the first question. I've tried a couple of times. They hate the wire metal brush. That's a slicker brush, guys. Also, my Cocker Spaniel is almost 16 years old and he hates to be touched. I get it. We have actually had to put him on medication so that he's able to be groomed. And that's so scary. He's 16. A lot of the medication can be hard on their heart and their lungs. And at that age, it can be scary. And then she says, Gabby is a new member of the family and I don't know how to take care of her smooth coat. I know she will need to be brushed. Very good question. So the first question she has is, my dog hates to be brushed. What brush should I use? Well, you can try going to a pin brush. It's not going to do anything for your Cocker Spaniel except maybe let you get some better practice on your brushing skills because your brushing may be too harsh with the slicker brush. If you do use your slicker brush in a harsh way, unintentionally, it can hurt the dogs. It can scratch their skin, absolutely. So until you practice a lot and you're comfortable with your slicker brush, you might want to go to a pin brush for a little while, and because it is definitely more forgiving. It's gentle. It doesn't make a noise. Sometimes they don't like the noise of the slicker brush. And it'll give you a chance to definitely hone your skills in on your brushing and get better at it and realize, you know, how close to the skin you're getting, you know, because you're practicing. So maybe if you practice a little bit with a pin brush, you could get somewhere. But a 16-year-old dog, I will say, is just absolutely not into being groomed in any way. Not at all. And I do know that they need to be. So by having gentle, successful, kind of love sessions with your grooming and your old dog, take your time, take breaks. It could prove to be more beneficial to the dog. If you don't know how to groom dogs, trying to give a 16-year-old Cocker Spaniel a full groom is kind of a recipe for a disaster. I mean, that's going to be hard for you to do because you're only doing it every 4 to 6 weeks, so you're not getting a lot of practice. And practice is what hones your skills as a dog groomer. Oh my gosh, the hounds are rolling in. And so tread lightly on that old Cocker Spaniel, please, because their skin is very tender and thin. The nerve endings are closer to the skin than they used to be. Their skin changes. Everything changes. Their coat changes with age. Their skin changes with age. So they are more touchy. And don't forget they have arthritis now. We've got that issue. So keeping your Cocker Spaniel bathed and brushed is really going to allow you to be able to trim it. So bathe and brush your Cocker Spaniel at least every 2 weeks. And don't forget to condition. Very, very important. Now you'll strip out all the oils and I'll have itchy skin. Don't forget to condition after your shampoo. But that's kind of my best. You need the slicker brush, okay? So you do have to go back to that if you can condition your dog a little bit better to tolerate brushing through using a pin brush. I have videos on my channel that talk about all the different types of brushes. So go back if you're not sure what a pin brush is and find out. But it's going to be a tough one for you and your 16-year-old Cocker Spaniel. You just have to take what he can give you. But you really do need to make sure you're brushing, bathing every 2 weeks. Brushing more than every 2 weeks, about every week at least. Or twice a week if you can. But gentle, patience with the old dog. Definitely, with any dog, but I get it. Okay, so that was answered that. Said we actually had to put him on medication. I'm a little leery about putting old dogs on medication. And she says her little smooth-coated dog, she's wondering what coat care she needs for that. You're going to want a boar bristle. That's like a tongue twister. A boar bristle brush for your short-haired dog. And the reason I like the boar bristle brushes, is because it kind of polishes down the coat. So our short-haired dogs, like let's picture a bulldog like I have, an English bulldog, or a short-haired Jack Russell. Their coat relies on the skin producing a lot of sebum, which is their natural oils. They produce a lot of oils because they have a short coat. Using that boar bristle brush helps distribute the dog's natural oils down the coat. And you always brush in the lay of the coat, the way the coat grows. You always brush in that direction. So using that boar bristle brush on your short-coated dogs is going to help distribute your dog's natural oils, which is what protects the skin. Their natural oils, it's called sebum. It's produced in their glands, but it actually is anti-inflammatory, antifungal. It protects the skin and coat. It's very important. These are things that I'm learning in my pet esthetician program. So obviously you guys get some of those cookies too. But yeah, so your boar bristle brush is your choice for your short-haired breed. Brush them at least once a week, if not more, and they will love to be brushed because it feels good. That's my suggestion there. So hopefully I have helped you, Carolyn. I really appreciate the questions that you all ask, and I appreciate that question. That was a good one. So let's go to our next question, which I think is the final one. It comes from Cynthini, and I think Cynthini is the one that just joined our hounds, if I'm correct. She has a sheepadoodle, and she says, I had purchased Chris Christensen white on white shampoo and final rinse. What is your opinion, and final rinse, what is your opinion about those products? And what do you recommend for tear staining? Okay, the Chris Christensen white on white, I don't recall ever using it lately. I think I've used it in the past, but it was so long ago I can't even remember. Chris Christensen makes some nice, definitely some nice products and tools, but I believe that Chris Christensen isn't, they don't cater as much to the, to being as green as some of the other products. So they use, often they'll use a little more perfumey elements in their shampoos and conditioners, and that's okay if the dog's skin can tolerate it, you know, but ultimately keeping some of those perfumes, dyes, stuff like that. I mean, they are quality products, don't get me wrong. I should be careful with what I'm saying here. That's why I don't choose to use them. How about I say it that way? It's just, I just feel like there's other more natural products with better natural ingredients in them than Chris Christensen chooses to use across the board. I will say this for a white dog, you can use your white shampoo. I mean, we all feel like we have to use a whitening shampoo on our white dogs, but I don't. I use my favorite shampoos on any dog. And the whitening shampoos can tend to be a little more drying, and that's why I don't often go for them anyway. But if you're cleaning your dog on a regular basis and it's on a good schedule, the whitening shampoo I don't think is so much of a deal breaker. It really, I haven't noticed it to be in the past. So just because you have a white dog doesn't mean you have to use a whitening shampoo. I do want to say that. And final rinse, is that the name of a conditioner that they make? If so, I've never used it. But I will say this, I'm very glad that you're using conditioner after you've shampooed and rinsed the shampoo. It really does rebalance the skin and coat. It's so important. And if we're, as a pet groomer, if I'm only shampooing a dog and sending them out, I didn't condition them, they're going to look great and feel great when they walk out the door. But don't forget, I'm not seeing the dog in 5 weeks. I'm seeing him in 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. But I don't see him in 2 weeks. Is he starting to get itchy? Is he scratching? Because I pulled all the natural oils out with my shampoo and I never put it back in when I conditioned because I didn't condition. That's why it's important to condition. So I'm just happy to see that you are using conditioner and rinsing well. So way to go. iGroom has some fantastic shampoos and conditioners. One of my favorite iGroom, two of my favorite iGroom shampoos and conditioners are the charcoal and the squalane. I really love them. Them two are wonderful. But I have so many favorite shampoos and conditioners that it slips my mind. I really love the Petals and Tails shampoo that has CBD oil in it, which is good for skin healing, good for anything. Even if the skin's healthy, it's good for it. There's so many. So last part of your question was tear staining. What product, what I use for tear staining. I always use a facial cleanser on the dogs that I groom because it is more of a puppy shampoo. So it definitely is less likely to irritate the eyes. That's why I use the Tropiclean Spa Facial, or I like the Petology Facial Cleanser. I really love the Puppy Faces by Petology Facial Cleanser. That's a good one too. iGroom makes a good one. I just don't favor it for the smell factor, but grooming's not all about what the products smell like. It does produce good results, the iGroom Facial Cleanser. But I want to tell you, nothing is going to remove the stains from your dog's eyes, under the eyes. When the hair is stained, it's stained. Think of what the word stain means. Stain means it has gotten into this porous object, which is the dog hair, and it is permanently stained. The same as if you took a walnut stain and rubbed it on wood. It's porous wood. It's going to absorb that stain. You're never going to get it out. Once the hair is stained, it's stained. What you can do is change some things in the diet, possibly water. Some dogs, it doesn't matter what you do. It's in their chemistry. It's a enzyme or a chemical production from their liver is what causes red blood cells and something. There's a reason for it. Oftentimes it is genetic. It's just in their chemistry, your dog's chemistry. You could have two siblings from the same litter, two Malteses. One has tear staining and the other one doesn't. Both feed the same thing, both same parents, same litter, and it's just genetics sometimes, okay? So you can't find a product that is going to take away the tear stains once they're there. The Spa Facial, I find, definitely allows us to clean the face very nice, and if you continue to use it over time, maybe over a couple of months, you could see that staining lightening up. If you're using it, say every 2 to 3 weeks, bathing your dog and washing the face with the Tropiclean Spa Facial, you may see it lightening up, but I don't think you'll ever be able to get rid of it from a product. I just don't think it's possible. Not from what I've seen over the years. So that is the extent of the questions. There was only 3 questions submitted. So guys, if you're going to want your questions answered, you really need to submit them, because I really can't be finding them all in the chat. I can see there are a couple here. Ears to hear, eyes to see says, hey, I'm learning how to groom and to bathe and maintain my 1-year-old standard poodle. Woo, wonderful. Help, I don't really know poodles at all. Well, the only help I can offer you is to go and watch my poodle videos on my grooming channel. That's the only help I can offer you. They're very extensive and they should help. But you're going to have to practice, and you're going to have to put your poodle on a schedule that you're working with him regularly. Not just grooming once in a while or when you think he needs it. A schedule, just like if he was scheduled with a professional groomer. It's important. So I hope that helps you out a little bit. Kadaya, I think if I said that right, says, how can I get my dog to tolerate grooming? It is an 8-week-old giant schnauzer and I want to hand strip. I've been doing some training by touching him and rewarding if he doesn't react. What else can I do? Well, if you're going to be hand stripping that giant schnauzer, it definitely starts with the puppy coat. There's a process of getting the coat right when it comes to hand stripping. And I'm not sure, if I bought a giant schnauzer, I wouldn't just try to figure it out because you're going to miss the game. You're going to miss it. It needs to start and it needs to continue on so you get the coat where it needs to be. And you're going to need to really probably find a professional who knows how to hand strip that breed. And I would go to the breeder that you got him from and ask for referrals. Because if the breeder is dedicated to breeding giant schnauzers, then they definitely, if they don't hand strip, they know somebody who does. Most pet groomers don't really understand how to hand strip, or do they want to do it. So I would say my best advice, honestly, is if you don't know much about it, you really shouldn't be doing it, because you could really mess things up, and you could mess up the skin, you could hurt the dog. But you should be getting him up on the table, you know, several times a week. Short little practice runs, like maybe 5 minutes, because he is a puppy, so he's not very tolerant to doing one thing for a long period of time yet. So get him up there on the table and do some brushing and light brushing. You should always have your dog properly harnessed on the table and safely harnessed on the table so that you can work with them and so that they actually feel safe on the table if they're properly harnessed. So these are things that you have to, if you're trying to sit and hand strip your schnauzer and brush them, your schnauzer puppy on the floor, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. You really need to invest in some type of a little grooming table or portable grooming table, or make something at home that will work for you and your pet so that you both can work together. Because it is a job that you both have to work together. Without compliancy from your dog, you know, you can't get the job done. And without you having the knowledge of what you're doing, he's not going to tolerate you working on him. So it's kind of a, you have to both do your part, you know. But you can train any puppy to be tolerant of things as long as you're gentle, safe, kind, and performing things properly to the dog, that it doesn't hurt. Marlo says, Amy, I'm a new member. That's awesome. I thought you were a member, Marlo. She says, do I need to do something extra to become a hound dog member? I watched the Elvis movie today. I want to see that movie so bad. We are going to see it. I have to take my mom and my dad. They were both huge fans. Marlo, if you're a member, you're a hound. I only have hound members. So when I say, hey, my hounds, calling my hounds, that's my channel members. So if you're a channel member, you're a hound. And welcome to the hounds, Marlo. Oh, we got a couple people who joined tonight. Carl did. Welcome to the hounds. This is going to be awesome. You're going to love it. You're going to love learning. Stella Jones says, how about a dog that is blind and is very hard to do, especially when I give him CBD and it doesn't work for him? CBD is not always going to make your dog accept grooming. Trust me. CBD doesn't put your dog in a stupor. It's not a tranquilizer. It's just meant to take the edge off, if at all possible. So if your dog is deathly afraid of grooming, CBD is not going to make him not afraid of grooming. You have to make him not afraid of being groomed by working with him. Frequent, short grooming intervals, brushing, touching. Don't even go for those tools yet until you can brush and touch this dog and he's comfortable with it. Seriously. I get it. The dog's blind. I feel bad. It says here, I feel bad before when the other groomer did him, when they said that he was good they said he was good when very tough. I'm not sure what that means, but they said he was good, but I think maybe you're having a hard time, Stella, with him. Maybe that's where it's coming from. I think that's what you meant. So here's the difference between you and a professional. They know how to touch a dog. They know how to, you're learning to. So you need patience and confidence. So that's why you don't go into it and say, I'm learning how to groom my dog. I've never even pulled this clipper out of the box yet, and I just bought this brush. So I'm going to get him up on the table, and I'm going to brush him, bathe him, comb him, blow dry him, and try to clip him. You don't know how to do any of those things. I'm not saying you, Stella. I'm just saying as somebody who's just getting these tools, you have to first get used to handling your dog on a grooming table. And get a portable grooming table, guys, if you don't have one and you work with your dog at home. It is a game changer, and it's better for the dog because they know that that's the place where they work for you. They know what it means when they're on the grooming table. So, we have to remember that they don't speak English. They're just learning. one of the biggest benefits the dog has while they're being groomed is being able to trust the person who's touching them. That's one of the biggest benefits a dog who's being groomed has, is being able to trust the person who's working with them. So if you can't find a way, if your dog is showing signs that they're afraid, not confident, it could be your lack of confidence. So you have to start working with them in slow intervals often and build your confidence and build your trust with the dog while you're working on just brushing or maybe trimming nails or cleaning ears or handling them, making them stand on the table. Tell them to sit. Make them stand just by touching them. Practice all that. It will work. It can work. Some dogs are traumatized for reasons that I don't know and they can't explain to us because they can't talk. But that there is that. That does happen sometimes. But let's assume that's not going on with you, Stella Jones. Okay. Sharon, welcome to the Hounds. And Chelsea YoXO. Chelsea YoXO. Welcome to the Hounds. Glad to have you guys. I am. This is wonderful. The things that we do together. Oh. All right, Carl says, Amy, I hear negative things about the Furminator. I have a golden retriever. I'm so glad you asked this question. I have a golden retriever. In your opinion, what comb and brushes do you say are must-haves in getting all the undercoat hair off of them? Well, Carl, if you're here on my channel, I assume you have watched my golden retriever videos. And if you did, you'll see the best tools to handle the golden retriever coat or any double coat is a comb, a brush, and when they're conditioning in the tub, we're gently combing the undercoat out. It slides right out when they have the conditioner on them after they've been bathed. They've been shampooed, rinsed. Now we apply the conditioner. Now we take our comb or our brush gently and slide that undercoat out in the tub. Remember your dog's coat, when it's wet, the skin is soft. So be gentle if you're going to do this. But that is the easiest way. Furminator, not necessary. Furminator has its place. And to be honest with you, the best use I can find on a Furminator is only on a short-haired breed. Like a Bulldog or a short-haired Jack Russell or a short-haired... what else do I use it on? Not even Beagle. I feel Beagle, a lab coat, has too long of a top coat that it can break the coat. We don't want to do that. So your very short breeds, you know, your Boston Terriers, if you have a Boston Terrier that's a moderate shedder, the Furminator. But I don't recommend you go out and buy a Furminator to deshed your dog. One of the safer tool that I use on shorter breeds is sold by Groomer's Choice, and it's called the Micro Deshedder, I think it is. The Micro Deshedder, I think it's called. Anyway, I've used it on my channel. Go check out my Bulldog video. I use some different deshedding tools to show you the difference. And I use them appropriately. And in fact, I use the Furminator on my Bulldog in a video when I'm showing you tools to show you why I don't need it. I heard somebody say, oh, I saw Amy uses the Furminator. She used it on her Bulldog. If they watched my video, they would see that I actually used it on the video so I could say, this is why I don't need it. They forgot to mention that part, but that's okay. I don't use a Furminator. Okay, just so we're clear with that. So you don't need the Furminator. Your brush and your comb and conditioning is the best way to deshed your golden retriever. Hands down, I promise you. And it is the safest way to handle the skin and coat. The safest way. So guys, I have a couple more things to tell you and I'm going to split for the day. But one thing I'm excited to tell you is what the topic is in our next live stream. So our next scheduled live from the grooming table is Monday, August 1st at 5:30 p.m. So mark your calendars. I don't want you to miss it. This is going to be another good one. I try to bring it. The topic is, drum roll, the 6 items you need to purchase to groom a dog. What? Only 6? That's right. That's what I said. You truly only need to purchase. I like the way I said the need. You truly only need to purchase 6 items to groom any dog when I'm talking about a dog that gets a haircut. And in 2 weeks live from the grooming table, I'm not only going to reveal what those items are, but where to get them and how to use them. And I promise you, I'll gather the links to all these items, prices, provide you all the information during the live stream that you need to understand what 6 items you need to groom a dog that gets a haircut. And it's going to be good. 6, right? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want you guys to know, I talk about going back to the basics a lot. Now when you go into trade shows or you go to a pet supply online distributor, you have thousands and thousands of products, half of which aren't very good. Others not needed. Others kind of unsafe. So I like to always kind of go back to the basics. How are people grooming dogs 60 years ago, 50 years ago? There was a couple tools that they needed, and that was that. And they performed, go back in history, look at some pictures. They performed beautiful work just with a couple tools. I'm going to tell you what they are. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to bring this live stream to you. If you want the blueprint, please go download it. My blueprint to grooming dogs. Easy, understandable, downloadable document. Print it out. It's perfect for you and your pet. Go ahead and download it. It's in the link below. I made it for you. I hope that it helps you and your dogs. I want to thank you all for being here because you're so, so awesome. And I love seeing you. And I appreciate you coming here and hanging out with me Monday live from the grooming table. Have a fantastic 2 weeks. Hounds, I'll see you August 1st. No, the 11th. I'll see you all live before I see my hounds. I get together with my hounds about every 3 weeks. So have a fantastic night, guys. I love you. And give your pets a pat for me because I love them too. Here's a subscriber showdown for you because you're awesome.